We
Here.
I woke up early again.
Fantastic. Oh my God. What was the record time today? What
Well,
was it?
I'm not saying wake up early like you people wake up at the crack of dawn. I'm saying I woke up before 10, like you tell me like be there by 10:30. See ya. I'm like I showered and everything and
Oh my gosh. I feel special and I feel honored. She actually showered for my show. So, anyhow, guys, today is Happy Saturday. Yay. And
happy Saturday.
happy. So I definitely, we know we have such a packed show. It's going to be super amazing. So we will do things differently today. And we're not going to, give all the shout outs in the world, but I still want to let you know that I love you. Thank you so much for always showing up on your Saturday mornings and afternoon. I'm like, what? There goes my
That's
ADHD.
Mike is met it up. I had to share that one when I saw it. I was like, oh, someone's on med still.
Well, he is, yes, he is. Feel better. Our fearless leader, Mike Asherbanner. He's Eastern time, so I guess it does count as noon. Good
I guess so, yeah.
but yeah, so we will do things a little bit different. I usually like to give a lot of shout outs and talk about situations that are going on during the week. But since we have a fantastic panel, I definitely want to make sure that all the information is covered in our 1 hour. So shout out to everyone. Tell us where you're tuning in from. We love to hear the global community. And what you're looking forward to learning about today's show. I know the title is like, oh my gosh, glitter. What is this about? Right? All the shining.
Every time I hear glitter, I just think of like, Wayne's World. Anyway,
Yes.
I've
It,
aged
it's
myself.
it's sparkly. Every time I think of that, I do think of our one of our panelists, Romita, and I also think of Dr. CJ Constance. Hi, good morning. Shout out to you, love you. But yeah. Anyhow, girl. Well, let's go ahead and go right into it, and let's roll that intro and get everybody started. Let's get it
Started.
started.
Ha, started.
Hey y'all, welcome to my corner. This is your girl Raquel, aka Raki. Step into our world of connections where I'm a proud Hounds of Business Pack leader, which is a community of entrepreneurs committed to sharing positivity, growing together, and never forgetting to inject some fun. Get to know amazing people in this safe space, so come and join me in my connection corner. And dance and dance and dance and groove and let's go and vibe. Okay, yeah, that's enough. All right, Raquel, behave.
No.
This is what it's about, right? We always have such a hectic, stressful, filled with endless, task of a week. Let's slow down and have fun. Enjoy the little, intricacies of life and just stop and smell the roses. I know it sounds very cliche, but really, stop and feel the groove and just beat, like, right? Hey,
Oh,
hey.
yes, 100%. And roses really do smell pretty. Just one
They
thing,
do.
make sure there's no animal insect in there because I did as a kid, not paid attention, and a freaking bee or gnat or something just like brushed my nose, done messed me up.
Oh
So
my gosh.
just,
Oh
just
no.
look out for like other things. Be aware.
Yeah, and then there's allergies too, but it's all good. It doesn't take away from the actual moment of enjoying that, right? Enjoying the beauty that it is in nature.
I
She's like,
screamed. What are you talking about? Took away from the moment. Yeah, I did. I screamed.
oh my goodness. Talking about screaming. Well, I am screaming because like I said, we have such a fantastic panel. But really quick, I'm also screaming because, I got a copy of my book.
Good job. I've had your book before you did. Good job, girl. Good job.
Adriana Rosales, thank you so much. Yes, I don't know, there was a delay, and I'm not going to whine about it, but I finally got it, y'all. I'm so excited. You can see my name is at the back. I am a published author. Anyways, yeah, it's my little moment. I'm gonna enjoy it. Don't take it away from me, y'all. But anyways, if y'all don't know where to get it, I know there's a QR code. We can put it up if you like, Messia, to just
I'm slack-a-lacking. I'm slack. I was
it's
busy
all
reading Mike's
good.
comments and I was like laughing. So sorry,
It's
my
all
bad, my
good.
bad.
But this is extremely meaningful to me, y'all. It's my first ever publication, and so it was co-author as an anthology. But in the end, like I said, it just gives you a little glimpse of my story, and and what's to come. So I'm super excited. So thank you all for the support. Thank you all for those who have bought it already, in supporting not only me, but the other 99 authors, co-authors, and this selection too. So thank you guys. You guys are amazing. I love you all. Anyways, I
Yes.
just want to say, Adriana, thank you, my sister. I love you.
Why don't you go ahead and say something, in Spanish to promote and like that gives us a little bit more QR code time since I was delayed.
It's okay. Bueno, para mi gente de Latinoamérica y mi gente, bueno, que habla español, quiero decirles que por primera vez he publicado mi libro y les estoy haciendo una invitación especial para que ustedes lo puedan agarrar. Si pueden escanear el código que aparece en pantalla, les agradecería por todo el apoyo que nos está brindando, no solamente a mí, pero a las otras personas que son también autores. Así es que muchísimas gracias. Los quiero mucho por todo su apoyo. Yay! How about that for Spanish?
Okay, hey, I gotta ask. So you're from El Salvador, right?
I am.
Is the El Salvadoran accent a little bit more on that rolling of the R's than
So,
standard Spanish?
oh, girl, this is gonna be a whole conversation for another show, but let me break it down. So it's Salvadoran, not El Salvadoran. Okay. Okay.
I slack. See, thank you for correcting me. I apologize. I've learned something new today.
No, it's Salvadoran, right?
Okay.
I know people say Salvadoran, like it's Salvadorian, right? And it's more with me since I came here so young, 9. My age was 9 when I got here. It's different because I was married to a Dominican, so I caught some of that. I have a lot of friends who are Colombian. I have a lot of friends who are Mexican. So my accent in Spanish, people cannot pinpoint it, and they will say, "Oh, you're Salvadoran with that accent." I was like, "Yeah, because it doesn't come out. It comes out if I force it, but it's very." I talk fast. Rather than
Yep.
that, like I really talk fast in Spanish, and my people talk slow. When I say my people, Salvadoran people talk slow. So that's why individuals are like, "You're from El Salvador." That's really weird, but yes. So that was
Oh,
me speaking fast in Spanish.
okay. I got it was kind of fast, but like I said, there's some like countries have different like paces. So okay, good to know.
Yes,
Good
it's
to
good to
know.
know. But we can definitely talk about that during next month, Hispanic Heritage Month.
Yes,
Oh, that would be a great topic. So,
that's
anyway,
a slight thing.
guys, amazing, amazing. I just want to say thank you so much for all those individuals who have sent me, this special messages of just support. You guys warm my heart. And I'm not gonna cry. Shout out to our sponsors. Yes, without you guys, we would not be here. And I know I'm rushing, but it's because we definitely want to give time to our panelists. So, for the first one, Messia, take it away. Mm.
Oh my gosh. So I was sitting there texting and then you go ahead and launch that at me. We are so on fire today. Timing, Sia is awesome. All right. Tausi. Okay. For those that do not know, Tausi Pillowcase is a wonderful sponsor for this show and want to give shout out to Janice Shakrian, who gracefully said, "There's too many people today, so I'm not going to appear." So what it is? So you're probably wondering, what the hell is this? These teal boxes? Why is it in the backgrounds? It's because it is a pillowcase. It is a patented pillowcase that gives you the neck and lumbar support. It's built into the pillowcase as well, and it's great for caregivers. It's great for travelers. It's great for sun beachers or people like me who wants to just Netflix and literally chill, not the other term, peoples. If you just want to like relax and just let your body just kind of like meld into a seat more comfortably or bed more comfortably, check out Tausi Brands pillowcases.
Woohoo! Love you so much, Janice. Thank you so much for being one of our biggest supporters. So the next one is Mr. Mike Asherbranner. Thank you so much for always being here and supporting. As always, he has a show at the happy hour, right? On Wednesday. So the Hounds of Business happy hour every Wednesday at 7 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. Okay, I'm not gonna say the other one. And feel better. We send you lots of healing vibes, love. I know you've been working your butt so hard, like this last month and last few months actually, to putting so much together and so many projects in the back end. So we thank you for all of that from the community, on behalf of the community, and from the bottom of our hearts. Feel better. We love you. I know you were in the comments, so shout out to you. And who else is there?
Just Brilliant Bee Media, just me. Okay, my company, and we are consider us the GC for all things digital content marketing, around social media specifically. So we augment a lot of marketing agencies that have clients who are more focused on how to build their brand, credibility, community through social media specifically, and creating content around that. So we have a lot of fun working with corporate clients as well as some of our smaller SMBs and up and coming kick booties. So if you have any
Okay.
questions, by all means, hit us up.
Yes, yes, yes. And who else should we hit up? How
Oh,
about Safe
hey,
and Sound?
okay, I just want to keep singing that song, and I'm like, oh, I'm gonna call them and ask them for like licensing rights. So you guys stay tuned for that. But do you mind if I just play a quick video just to kick
No,
it off?
not at
Should
all.
we
Let's
wait it? Should we wait? Let's go Ramita first. Let's go to Ramita first.
Okay. All right. Well, Safe and Sound is one of our new sponsors, and I'm so happy to have them in the show today. So we'll get to them soon, and we have a little surprise for y'all. All right, Matt. Well, let's go ahead and get this party started. I know one of my first panelists. My gosh, like I am so amazed with her because man, we sat there, we had a long conversation because I just feel like she's my sister from another mister, and I'm not lying when I say that. So welcome, welcome, Romita. Thank you so much, Romita. Please pronounce your last name so I don't butcher it, okay?
Oh, I hope I don't butcher it. Bulchandani.
Bulchandani.
Yes.
Okay.
Kindergarten was a really rough time in my life because I had 11 letters to learn and everyone else had 4. And I had to like sequentially put those 11 letters together. And it was very hard on a 5-year-old.
Oh my gosh. Well, now you say Romita or you say Romita? Which one is the correct?
Romita.
Romita.
Yeah. I can't roll the R's. I've practiced, but I can't do it. But yes, exactly. Just like that.
I love it. Well, Romita, please let us know. Well, thank you for being here today on a wonderful Saturday morning. But let the audience know who are you, what you do, and yeah, then we can get into the conversation.
So I will just share a little quick background about me, if that's okay. So I've been in corporate went to Disney straight out of college, worked there for 9 years. It was literally one of the most magical jobs I've ever had. I learned so much about business, being around so many international people, being immersed in diverse backgrounds, like to have that as your first experience, like of corporate and what that really looks like, was an amazing experience. I moved on, went to Marriott, and then went to another company called Zavita. And so 15 plus years, I lived in corporate. I breathed corporate. I loved corporate. I was like obsessed with climbing the ladder and also figuring out who I was. But along the way, during that journey, and I think a lot of people resonate with that, I lost my soul in that process. And I lost my soul fighting for a dream that my parents fought for as immigrants coming to the United States, was the American dream. And this American dream was bestowed on me because here I am, first generation born in the United States, and like I'm supposed to have like fulfill what they weren't able to accomplish coming
Mhm.
from in living in India and then coming to the United States. So I really held that on my shoulders, and a part of it became my wish and my dream as well. But as you start, doing a dream, glitter is something that lives within all of us. And no matter how much you try to clean up glitter, vacuum glitter, change glitter, it will always be there. Like you will find it. Even if it's in your sock drawer, a year later, that glitter will emerge in some way, shape, or form because it's our truth. So it can't be moved, transformed, or completely removed. It's part of us. So that glitter for me was definitely part of me. So I ended up leaving corporate. No plan, no job lined up. I was just like, peace out.
The best way, huh?
I am out. I am done with this lifestyle. I want to take a vacation, and I don't want to have to like count vacation days. I don't want to think about like, I don't want to get permission. Like, I just want to take a sabbatical and I want to take some time off. So I did. I ended up going a little drastic, and I don't recommend this to everybody, but I sold my house, my car, packed up 2 suitcases, booked a trip around the world, and I'm still there.
Wow.
I'm still traveling. I'm still doing that. And the initial purpose was to find my soul and to just live for a little while, because I went 18 years without really taking a true vacation, without, someone calling me or someone, or me stressing about, okay, I've got to go back. I'm going to have 500 emails to go to. Like, I never had that quiet, and I never knew what it felt like to just be still.
Mm.
So I went on this journey, and I learned how to do all of those things. I talked to so many doctors and yogis and healers and astrologers and energy workers, things I've never even heard about. I didn't even know these things existed. And I'm not a very religious person, and I'm not a very metaphysical person. Um, I believe a lot in science and like what I can see and what I can feel. And I was exposed to things that I can't even explain to you, but I know it's real because I saw it
Mhm.
and I felt it.
Oh my
And
gosh.
so going around the world, 32 countries now and counting, living out of my two
Wow.
suitcases. And coaching has always been a part of something I did in corporate. I never really enjoyed it in corporate because it was very, when you do corporate coaching in corporate, it's determined by the corporation of how you can help a leader or a person that you're coaching. But I've worked with coaches all my life too. Like, that's how I excelled in corporate, was by working with coaches and working with healers and through that process. So when it came down to me going into coaching and starting my own business, honestly, it wasn't the plan. It was the what was bestowed on me. And I realized that I'm a vessel and my energy is going to help heal people. And I'm on this journey and this path for a reason. I didn't even plan this path or this journey. It literally just happened. And I think everything happens for a reason. So I'm here as that
Mm.
vessel, here to help whoever I can help. And I'm on this journey to create ripples. And I don't know what that is. I do know that I lead with love and kindness every day. And the path just keeps unfolding for me.
And
And the people, like, I met you,
yes,
it just everything that has happened, I've met people have been brought to me for some reason, and it's all to amplify my life in some way, shape, or form. But when I amplify my life, other people around me just get amplified as well, and the ripples just happen. So I'm just here for it. I'm here to, like a sponge, just soaking up all the glitter that everyone is just giving me.
well, and let me tell you, we're here because, like, you and for you, because oh my gosh, y'all, to tell the first time that I actually vibed with Romita, it was just like we could have gone like 5 hours talking. Seriously, we could have, because like I said, I just feel that she's living like my dream life, which is to really travel the world, see the world, but at the same time help individuals along the way, right? So it's one of those things that I'm just like, Ramita, I admire you. You're like my role model. You're like my hero. You got it going on. But you had to face so many challenges prior to getting to that and really finding your
Oh,
way. And so that's another reason why I told everybody, it's like, you're just like a sister from a mister, because we vibe so well. We left the corporate world, and then we finally started finding our true calling. So tell us a little bit about who you work with usually. Do you work more with individuals, with entities? Who do you work with?
I work with humans, all kinds of humans. And they tell you in marketing that you have to have an avatar, and like your avatar, like they all wear the certain outfit, or mine don't have that. At least I haven't found that yet with any of my clients. Like, they're all so different. So there's three different clients I work with. First and foremost, I have such a strong business background working with the Fortune 50 companies. And then I have this 8 years of minimalistic, nomadic, spiritual woo woo that I've just been immersed in as well. And both of these worlds have collided and created the business that I'm in right now with life coaching and transformational coaching. So I've learned that you really have to have that business acumen and that spiritual growth in order to succeed as a human. And every single human being is a business in one shape or form. And whether you are a person that is contracting yourself out to an Amazon or another company for XYZ salary for this much time, or you're a person that is creating products and services and then selling them to the masses, right? At the end of the day, we're all making money. Energy is an exchange of money. And so you have that piece, but then you have the spiritual piece that I think gets left off on a lot of folks during their journey. So I work with a lot of coaches and entrepreneurs that have maybe a lot more spiritual growth, but they don't maybe have the business piece. Or I maybe work with a lot of corporate folks or people from with a business background that have the business acumen, but don't have the spiritual growth, and they haven't been able to fuse that together. And then there's the folks that have a little bit of both, but they don't have enough of both. And we got to fill those gaps because there's a little chaos in between there. And there's like, and a lot of I don't knows and a lot of lack of clarity. And that's when we got to like start removing that fog and saying, okay, how do we, where's the gaps? What are the gaps? And let's kind of fuse both of those together. So there's really no like specific, I work with women from ages to XYZ. Like there's no like, I just work with all people. Anyone that needs one of those two tools or both, and they want to work on infusing the two, I work with them, and they get a dose of my minimalistic, travelistic lifestyle along with, the metaphysical world versus the science versus the business. They get a little bit of everything and mixed in that.
You know what's funny, Romita, is that like I feel like we've lived somewhat parallel. It's almost like a multiverse situation where it's very parallel. I actually worked at Disney for almost 7 years back in California.
Where? What years?
Uh, girl, you trying to done age me now or what?
Well, I'll tell you my years.
I was there from 91 to 97, 97, 98,
Okay,
97, 97, 88, oh, Jesus. Yeah, 91 to 98.
91 to 90. So you were there for a while too. I was there from 2004, I think, till 2013.
Oh, wow.
Yeah.
No, it's, the thing about like corporate is, okay, so first off, I think from a Disney represents to me all the amazing potential for hospitality, right?
Oh, yes.
And also an introduction to corporate because it's
Like on steroids.
and entertainment simultaneously, right? So it's like if you really want to get a crash course on, do you like working for a big company? Do you like working for a publicly traded company? Do you like working for hospitality, food and beverage, and entertainment simultaneously? Like, feel out what career choice you want to go into, and it will teach you very quickly. So let me ask you this because after I had Disney, I worked in tech for 20 odd plus years. So I can tell just by our just the way you talk, I can tell I'm like, oh, you have some wounds.
Yes.
No, but I mean you have
Yes.
some I think it's our corporate mentality, right? So that transition going from corporate to entrepreneurship or going into another field altogether. What did you do or what do you recommend folks that like for me when I left in 2017, I realized I lost my soul. I lost my self
Yeah.
identity in that corporate.
Yes.
I put a false sense of success and pride into a fracking brand for all intents and purposes. So when I was quote free, I literally realized I'm like, I ain't nothing. I
Nothing.
don't even know who I am. Like a friend asked me, "What's your favorite hobby?" And I was like, "Son of a sea cook." I I am like, I drink a lot unhealthily, right? Because I had to, right? Well, this not had to. It was fun, but at the same time, it was a bad coping mechanism, right?
Yeah.
But then also, I had none. I listen to music. Is that really a hobby? Debatable. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So, what do you recommend for folks like that? Just initially going, son of a sea cook, I'm free.
Mhm.
I never had, my identity was never created even from a childhood, because as a daughter of immigrants, my identity came from whatever my parents gave me, their dreams, their aspirations. I was pressured into being a lawyer or a doctor because those are the two roles that actually are successful in their minds and make money. So, in my mind, my identity was being shaped by my parents based on their trauma and their generational struggles that they went through. And then when I went into corporate, my identity became Disney. My entire, I drank all the glitter and then some. And, so then my identity became that. Even when I moved to Marriott, I'm like, what do you mean you don't use floor length tables? At Disney, we only use floor length tablecloths. Like, like my identity was so ingrained with Disney and standards. And I still to this day Even in my coaching sessions, I teach some of the ideologies that I've learned from Disney. And so I've literally moved my entire adult life going from identity to identity that was never mine to begin with, even from a child. So when I left corporate, I literally was my second rock bottom that I hit, because I didn't know who I was. I didn't even know who I wanted to be. And I didn't know how to figure that shit out. Excuse my language. But it was like I had so much to deal with. I didn't even know how to figure that out. Like, there's no book. First and foremost, there's no manual for you. You got to create that within yourself. Like, there's no one gives you a book and say, this is your story and this is what's going to be, right? Or this is how you operate you, right? And
Yeah.
then when you are going to find your soul, how do you even start that? Like, that is just such a magnitude of a question. And
Yes.
so for me, it was stripping everything that I was tied to. And for me, in that moment, it was Denver. It was a brand new 4-bedroom house that I custom designed for me, that I had a brand new mortgage on, that I literally just walked away because I was like, I don't want any of this identity because it's not mine anymore. And I had this company, this people, this place, the energy of the city. I moved for this company. This company Denver wasn't where I was going to live. I was living there because of the company. I was living there because of that identity that I chose to become. So for me, shedding all of that, going to a suitcase and like just traveling and looking at other people, a part of me during the beginning of that journey was, okay, maybe I want to be Vietnamese. Maybe I want to be Peruvian. Maybe I want to be Mexican. Maybe
That's
I
what.
want to be South African. Maybe I want to
Yeah.
be European. Like, I was going through and like shopping for identities, and I didn't even know I was shopping for them. I honestly
Yes.
didn't even realize that until when I started working with people and I asked I was like, please, universe, send me guidance, because I don't
Hmm.
really know what I'm doing. And I even tried to hire coaches during that time frame, and I didn't want the structured certification that these coaches had been taught. I didn't want a
Hmm.
framework. I didn't want another box to be put in. I didn't want another label or, identity shape
Say
based
that
on
again.
specific race and gender, and, based on this upbringing, you're a millennium, Gen's. Like, I didn't want any of that. I don't want any of those labels. And so I started just doing this. And I think it's one, getting still with yourself, going back to your question. And that is so hard to do, because I remember when I first even quit my job and I left, I would wake up in the middle of the night because I was so conditioned to checking my emails that I was like, I don't even have access to the Outlook anymore. Romita, what are you doing? Like, why are you checking your email? Like, no one's emailing you. You left. They don't care about you anymore.
You're on mute, Sia. Mm.
You're on
Sia,
mute.
you're on mute. And I know what you're saying is very important.
It is because I'm right there with you, girl. Because when I, damn it, you would think I would know how to unmute myself by now, right? Okay, so you got me so excited, girl. Is when I was with my business partner and I launched after, so I took a year and a half break and like traveled the world. I did exactly what you did, and then I got told to have champagne taste with zero budget. So I was like, oh shoot, I actually have to work again. But I noticed my behaviors with my partner, who is a serial entrepreneur. Like I was like sending weekly email updates. Like, here's here's my status. And she goes, hey man, that's cool. I'm glad, we got an update and all that. She goes, but we don't like I had it in format, like, the standard format, right? Executive
I
briefing
was a
summary, if
blog.
you will. And my partner's like, hey man, it's cool, but like I feel like you're wasting time on making this look good. Like, just give me the bullet points if you need to. It's cool. And it was weird because I was like, I cannot function. Wait, what? Like I will get written up if I don't. And it was just the most bizarre effing thing. And the information you share is vastly different. She's like,
Yes.
hey, yeah, that's great. You're talking to so and so. Awesome. Like, well, I don't need to know what stage it's on.
Yeah.
I'm in
Yeah.
sales. So I was like, I don't need to know what sales in the sales cycle unless it's like, hey man, I need help I need help to move it along, whatever. But yeah, she's like, I don't know what these like number 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 means. Right.
Yeah.
And I was like, son of a sea cook. But I mean,
Yeah.
but that's such a wonderful thing though, is once you again get that freedom of mind to release yourself, to embrace the glitter, to embrace the smelling the roses.
Yeah.
That stress, like it's kind of like feeding into, you know, our next phase of our conversation is, you know,
Mhm.
caregiving of ourselves,
Mhm.
right? And giving us ourself that love, that
Mhm.
moment to say, okay, I need, maybe the coaches are a great tool for you, but
Mhm.
maybe there are other tools
Yes.
that will
Yeah.
help you. And it might be something tangible, like a Tassie pillowcase, for example.
Or
Oh
or a
yeah.
No,
nice
it is
smelling
those little
candle.
things though. I will say, like, when you travel and you like, I actually am going to look at this pillowcase too. I'm actually, since I've met Janice, I've like on through the hounds, I've been curious about it. But I think it is like figuring out those tools and resources. So for me, one of the biggest things was photography. You know, you think about what your profile shot just on LinkedIn needs to be, right? And then, you know, you have this corporate mindset of what it should be, what it needs to be. And I went and I remember taking my first set of pictures when I was, the first country I went to was Portugal. I had shades on. I tried to make sure like my pose was right. Everything felt like, you know, like if I were to publish this on social media, that nothing would be said, no gossip. Like I didn't want to get anyone else in trouble or like, and you know, it's just very, I had all these rules in my head. And now I'm like, this is me drinking a coconut, like, you know, and I'm like, I don't even
Mhm.
care. And it was just like, it was, I through photography and watching my photos and how I took pictures, I actually hired so many photographers through this process where I would do sessions, photography sessions, and I would learn how to just relax and forget the rules because it
And
was so ingrained in my organic body language of the corporate, like professional mindset of what that was. And I had to release that energy, and photography actually helped with that. And that's
That's
something that you don't
cool.
think about, but seeing yourself in a photo or a video and being able to like see yourself relaxed versus always posed, because you just never know who's watching because you're always
mhm.
looking, you know, that's what they tell you. Everyone's looking at you in the office or wherever, and you always are in this stance position.
And
And I didn't have
what
to do that anymore because it was just me.
mhm.
That's huge. That's really huge.
Mm.
So Rocky, there's a question for
Yeah, I
you.
see that. But one of the things before the question is like I noticed and I knew about Romita is that her love for photography and how she like her message is given through that, right? She translate that message through her pictures. It's so beautiful and I love it. So you definitely keep doing that because it's working,
Thank you.
girl. But anyway, so AJ or Ajay Tiwari has a question. What is the difference you observe with corporate, small business, and with other people?
With small businesses versus other people, like other with entrepreneurs, like solopreneurs.
I'm assuming that's what he means.
Okay.
Yes.
I
So
think, yeah, I would say three. I think it's a
Three,
corporate,
yeah,
small business, other people, maybe on solopreneurs,
solopreneurs,
maybe.
yes.
okay, so I think with Disney, I would you get a lot of foundational. There's no better entertainment company first in the world than Disney. Nobody does customer service better than Disney. I would say Marriott is a very close second to customer service. But I think the biggest thing with Disney is the mindset is they don't nickel and dime things that you see a lot with
Yes.
small businesses and in solopreneurs. And I think that's where the big mistakes happen. So, see, you probably get this one with I'll use the Disney ice cream as an example. Like when we were taught, like one of the things that we did with our training was we would sit on a park bench and we would just watch people, and my leader would be with me, is like, okay, what is that person saying? I was like, well, they didn't say anything to me. She was like, what is the body language saying? What are they thinking? What are, you know, and we would watch people, and I was like, and then it got to the point where they didn't even speak to me. I just see them standing. They're just like standing. And I'm like, this guy wants to know what time the parade is. And like, I was able to read energy. So you see a family, they're buying ice cream for their kid, and you know, Disney is not cheap. We all know that. So you spend what, $6 or $7 on a Mickey ice cream, and the dad's like, okay, I'm giving this to you, child, but don't you dare drop it.
Oh
You know,
yeah.
you feel
Woo.
that energy, and the kid's just like, oh my God, I'm so excited. Like, you know, the energy of the child. And then, like, 5 steps in, they see, like, I don't know, Cinderella's walking by. And then, you know, the ice cream just goes like in another direction. And the
Oh
dad's
no!
just like, that was
Oh,
$8.
$8.
That was $8.
That was
And
me.
then the kid's like, but that's Cinderella, Daddy. That's Cinderella, you know? And we, the cast member, are watching this. You know what we do? We just give the dad a new ice cream. because it's
Mhm.
not about the $8 for us. It's about the long-term business that you're going to get, when these people come back, and it's about the experience, it's about the memories, it's about the emotion. People do
Yep.
business with people. And I think when you go from
Yes.
big businesses, you have all of these resources and you have all of these departments to do everything for you, but then you go to a small business or an entrepreneurship, and it's a one-man show or a one human show, right? And the difference is you have not as many resources. But at the end of the day, still people, that foundational rule of people will do business with people. And I think that relationship, it's not about marketing to people, it's about building a relationship with your audience and the people that you're going to be working with. And that's where the business comes in. It's not about, selling. Disney isn't really selling. They're just tapping into your emotions because of the relationship they've built with you. And I think that I learned that, and you applying that to a small business or like just, someone starting out, it really just, that lesson goes a long way.
My goodness.
I think 100%. So if I could just interject on that
Yeah,
too.
please.
Maya Angelou, you guys, we quote her all the time, but people don't remember what you say. They don't remember half the stuff, right? But they do remember how you make them feel. And that was so ingrained in from the Disney perspective is all the world's a stage, right? Shakespeare, we were all cast members. And I remember this. People pay a lot of money. This could be their life savings to take their family on a
Yes.
vacation.
Yes.
So you might be having a bad day as a cast member, but just remember, they don't know that. They're
Mhm.
here from, Thailand, for example, right? They flew all the
Yep.
way here. And if you're going to be a sourpuss face, like you've ruined potentially a child's memory.
Mhm.
And I will say the difference between a corporate versus small business at times is you're right. We're so busy on trying to get that deal, trying to make money, right? That sometimes, and we're doing it all by ourselves, that we forget we're humans. If you can slow down and if you can give your client that experience that they are going to say, yes, I love this. Thank you so much. You're helping me provide value elsewhere in other ways. They're going to come back to you. Your deliverables might even be slower than they quote, big box provider or
Yes.
whatever, but you're providing them that one-on-one connection. And I think that's the difference is to remember as a small business, you don't have your processes down necessarily. You may not have your
Yes.
resources nailed down, but you know what though? That human touch is really the difference. Disney nails that down very well. And Disney was very wise, at least when I was there 30 years ago. Thanks for the reminder,
You're
Romita.
very welcome
Um,
anytime.
seriously, 30 fracking years ago. But is that they give us autonomy to say, "Oh, wait, that kid just dropped the
Yes.
ice cream. Let me walk over and let me grab it and just bring it to them," right? It's those small touches that make the world of difference,
Yeah.
Yes.
right? And I think that's the big critical part that is good for the soul.
Mhm.
And I love that you're guiding people along and helping them understand that because it's so needed, girl.
It
We're at
is.
that age group. I have no problem saying it. When I left corporate, everyone my age and older was optioned to leave,
Mm.
right? And, what do we I'm still fracking young. So
Yeah.
what am I gonna do to my second, quote, "career,"
Yeah.
right? Or second, quote, "company I wanna restart from the ground up again?" So what you're doing is a great service, great
Yes.
value. Anyone that's going from corporate to whatever entity, definitely, seriously, Ramita, you get it.
It's
Yeah.
it's about
And
spiritual
I have
growth
to
in
ask you
that
more.
business. You're leading when you have spiritual growth, you're walking in love and kindness, and you're bringing
Yes.
that
Yes.
energy into your business. And when you infuse that spiritual growth, that love and kindness that you've now like grown into with that business strong strategic acumen, holy crap. Like the what can create out of those two things is absolutely powerful.
And
Yes. Girl, I can keep going with you, and Araki,
Yes.
I know we have, like, 5,000 other questions, so I feel like we're gonna have to do, like, a almost like a Q&A. There's a lot of great questions in here, but we don't
yes,
have
I
time. I'm so
know.
sorry, you
Please
guys in the chat.
DM me as well if you have questions. I'll be happy to answer them in the chat in my DM. So you can send me a DM on
I
LinkedIn.
no, and also we're putting up your QR code directly to you, Glitter for the Soul. It's a transformational coach so that people can actually scan it. Or how else can individuals get a hold of you?
Through LinkedIn, you can message me. My DMs are open, and then also through my website as well.
Okay. I did have one question before we bring our other guests up. I When was that aha moment for you, Romita, when you're like, you know what? I was destined for more. Like this is not the life I envisioned, and I am ready to take charge of it and find elsewhere. When was that moment for you?
So I was already feeling it in the company that I was working with, and I just kind of I've never been a low performer. I've always just been a high performer. I've never had a resume really through my most of my corporate career. I've always been tapped on the shoulder, and even the job that I was in Denver, I didn't really apply for it. There was a client that actually recruited me from Marriott to work there. So I was sitting in a meeting and I had a team of 8 people. They all looked alike, women from the Midwest, same age range. And I really had 2 open spots and I wanted to diversify the team. Um, and I was told point blank that diversity doesn't work well here and let's stick to what we know. And as one, I went silent during that. I didn't even know what to say after that. And then two, it was almost like the permission I needed that, you know what, I think I need, this is not where I need to be. And wherever I need to be, I think I'm going to need some time to like figure that out. And I need to stop.
Hmm.
And I looked at my contract and I knew obligation wise I had to stay another 3 months. So those 3 months kind of went by and I left. I didn't even think about getting a new job or even applying for a new job because I knew I wasn't in the right headspace. And when you get a comment like that, it makes you question a lot of things, because that was
Hmm.
not something I'd ever experienced before. And working for Disney and Marriott, like we're just such diverse companies. So I knew that whatever I did next, it had to be different and it had to be big because I needed to, um, I have a purpose. I had to do something about it.
I,
I
And I
love
didn't know
that.
what, I just knew I needed to do something different.
mhm. No,
That's so good.
I
That's so true. Girl, we need I'm sorry we haven't had a chance to one-on-one
I
talk, but
know.
oh my god,
I
yeah, we
told you
gotta
this.
get
Remember, I told you you
Oh
guys
yeah,
would
whose
just
fault is this?
hit it off. I told you guys.
I know, it's so bad. I know, and look, people, no one ever said I was good at time management, and poor Rocky's like, "See, I I told you we're gonna run late."
Yeah.
And I'm like, "No, we're gonna be on time."
Yeah.
You guys in the chat have been so amazing, by the way.
Thank you.
Like I said, there's a lot of questions we just cannot get to, but we'll do it after the show and like chat and catch up and or connect, you guys. Scan the QR codes. That's
Hmm.
just take your picture camera
Look
thingy and just like aim it,
like
and it will
this.
pull up the browser.
There you go.
Get to
There we
know
go.
Romita because I think she'd be extraordinarily helpful for my corporate friends because I know you're out there and I know there's good discussions all been going on. Um,
Yes. Yes.
it is a unique. I think it's a unique transition. So,
Yes.
and girl, it's so funny when I listen to you talk. You're literally making me remember everything, like at Disney.
Yeah.
Um,
Yeah.
I was a resort trainer too, so yeah, girl,
Yes.
yay!
Yes. Well, you know what? I know that this probably merits a part two, bringing Ramita back soon, just because it's so important, especially with huge, the burnout, right? That happens, all
Mhm.
that. And how you're also experiencing that, or all those different intricacies that you just don't think about whenever you're caring for someone. This is moving into the caregiving, because I know, Ramita,
Yes,
you've had to wear that hat, right? And
yes.
how involved that is, right? Can you tell us a little bit about this, and then we'll bring our guest up?
Yeah, so my first experience with being a caregiver was with my mom. In 2015 in November, right literally the day before Thanksgiving, the doctor called us and told us she was stage 4 of cancer. And
Maybe.
she had 3 months, maybe 6 months if she was lucky to live. And something switches in you like a protector, like, oh my God, I gotta you have to like put on your cape and you don't even know if your cape's going to work and you're like grabbing your shield like I got to do something. And I that's what I think about when a caregiver is present. Like when I hear about a care like someone who's giving care, like my heart just like I just want to give them my shield just to like give them extra protection. Like as they're cuz they're a superhero. And she ended up passing away in February, but that time of watching her literally die for over 3 months. Like, that's kind of the pain that I don't wish on anybody.
Mhm.
And what it did with our own family and what it did with the extended family as well. Like, there is just there's no handbook or manual, or and I do believe the universe gives us nothing that we can't handle. Everything the universe bestows on us, it's something we can handle it, and a lot of times we don't think we can handle it until we do. And so
Mhm.
now we're at the stage where my dad, he's older, he's getting weaker, and memory, and we're like, already, because of the experience with my mom, we're like, okay, we've been down this road. We know what to expect. Now let's be proactive and let's do things, and let's make sure we have things in place. So I have a lot of respect for the caregivers out there and the people that are supporting the industry, the people that are out there caregiving as well. It's just, um, they're true superheroes in my heart, and I have
Yes.
nothing but love for them.
Well, let me tell you, Romita, thank you so much for sharing that part of, and it's emotional. It's so much. I'm having to go through the same thing as well. And gosh, it takes so much out of our souls.
Oh my
No,
gosh.
it's such a thankless job in its sense. And sometimes, we need to surround ourselves with individuals who will be able to support us and guide us in that journey as caregivers, because it can get lonely out there. So it's a beautiful segue, and like I said, thank you for your storytelling. Now let's hear from these heroes who are helping us each and every day find better ways as caregivers to really navigate the caregiving world. So
Mhm.
welcome to the stage, Tracy Lamb, Cindy, and Christina Harding Weiss. Thank you so much of Safe and Sound. Ooh, all the feels. Oh my ladies. Welcome. Thank you so
Thank
much
you.
for being here. Uh,
Yes.
it's a complete honor. We just literally met and started working together and collaborating on this fantastic opportunity of the Teeny Network. So go ahead and introduce yourselves, ladies, and we'll get right into the conversation.
Tracy, go ahead.
Okay. Well, my name is Tracy Lamb. I'm the CEO and founder of a company called Smart Caregiving and a TV show called TV network called Caregiving Worldwide. My background is with hospice. So I worked for hospice for over 14 years. So I talked to patients on a daily basis that were caregiving. And ended up, I tell people I could always talk the caregiving talk, but I could never walk. I had not had to walk the caregiving walk until September of last year. And but my brother had died 5 years ago from alcoholism. My sister had died 15 years ago in a car crash. So it was only me. So I ended up having to take care of both of my parents. And both my dad died last year in February, and I still take care of my 83-year-old mom. So I'm still walking the caregiving journey. So I started my company because I feel for these people. I'm in it, and I know what it's like to be in it, and I understand. And there's so much help that can be done, and Christine and Cindy know that. They're right there too, right there in it with me. And so, when you're in this space, you talk to these people on a daily basis, and the emotional toil that it takes as you're trying to. You can see my mom right there.
Hi, Mom.
Yes. But the emotional toil that it takes on people, because they're trying to live their regular life, and then they're trying to actually take care of the person that they love and their person. So I have been blessed. I did a TV show called Caregiving Worldwide,
Mhm.
and we've been blessed, and it went really well. And so now we've got a network, and so we're going to be doing a new TV show called Safe and Sound. And Christina
Yes.
and Cindy, who are here with me today,
Yes.
are wonderful. They have their own company called Adaptive Equipment uh, and Caregiving Corner, and they're wonderful and awesome. And I'll let them introduce themselves, but they've been in the caregiving space for quite some time too, so they understand it. And I'll let them go ahead and talk.
Awesome.
Thanks.
Yes.
Thanks,
Yes.
Tracy. Yeah, so I'm Christina. I'm a speech therapist. My background, so I'm more of a professional caregiver instead of a family caregiver, but my background is working in the geriatric population in long-term care.
And my name is Cindy, and I'm a physical therapist. And my specialty has been in, or most of my career has been in the home health setting, working with the geriatric population. And we are professional caregivers, but we've seen a lot go on, and we both have aging parents, and we've got parents that are in their late 70s, early 80s, and we will all at some point in our lives walk that caregiving walk. So we want to make sure that we are on the front lines of that support always.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. Well, let me tell you that I know that there's like 99.9% of people who may be going through that caregiving journey themselves, or know of someone who knows of somebody who's going through that, especially with y'all. I've been in the home health, public health realm for the last 15 years, and the baby boomers are coming in drones, like no joke. They are turning 65, they're aging, and we're faced with so many different difficulties in how to be able to deliver resources to them, or educate them, or inform them. And that is one of the most important things that I was doing when I was working in that realm back then, is educating. How do I connect individuals with the resources that they need? Because most of them do not even know, one, where to find it, two, how to actually do it, and three, they may not have people next to them who are informed themselves. So this is why I love what Tracy and you and Cindy and Christina are doing with Safe and Sound, and the different TV series shows that are going to come up, because it will be another avenue for individuals to get information readily available to them. So tell us a little bit about how the idea of Safe and Sound started, and whoever, Tracy.
Well, like I say, I've been very blessed. I got a TV show earlier this year, and I started it with Caregiving Worldwide. It's called Caregiving Worldwide, and we've been very blessed that after 12 episodes, over 600,000 people have now watched the show across 7 countries. And so we've been really, really blessed that a lot of caregivers, the problem is that, and that one of the main reasons I started my company was that, people just don't understand. It's a lack of education. There's things that people don't understand about hospice. They don't understand about long-term care. They don't understand about, palliative care. I mean, there's so many different things, and they get stuck, because it's like Ethel Lord, I think, I saw in the chat, caregivers become a caregiver most always. It is not by choice, but by necessity. And it's the truth. All of a sudden, one day, it's like with my dad and mom, one day they were great, could go out to restaurants, everything was fine. And all of a sudden, the next day, they were both completely out of pocket. I mean, I basically had to put my whole company on hold for the next 11 months and start doing everything for them. And it's literally can change on a dime. And all of a sudden, people that don't know about the resources, and they don't have the education about a lot of things, then they're like, well, where do I go? What do I do? How do I get help? And you can't Google what you don't know exists. And that's the biggest problem, is there's tons of products out there. As Christina and Cindy know, they've been checking out different products for caregivers for several years. They have some awesome product reviews and everything on their YouTube channel and TikTok and everything else. And that's why I partnered with them. And that's why we decided to create the show. We basically wanted to create a one-stop shop for caregivers so that they could basically find out about all of this information in one place. And if we didn't have it, then we could find it for them. So that's one of the main reasons why we created the show.
And I'm going to tell you that that's so admirable and commendable. I know that, Cindy and Christina, they're pretty well known in social media channels. So they have a huge TikTok account and, the followers on YouTube. And so I want to ask, like, how responsive has the audience been to the information? Because I know y'all do fantastic reviews of products. And so how will that, first of all, the response from the audience, and then second, migrating to TV, how has that been?
Well, as far as the response, we started off as a YouTube channel, and Cindy and I were both in home health at the time, and we just felt like it was what was needed, because you get those frequently asked questions. And as far, and it was really resonating when we were listening to you guys talk about the pressure and stuff from corporate. Therapy is really no different. We're on productivity as well. And so that's why we started creating these videos, because it helped us provide education to our caregivers and to our patients while we were doing our paperwork and stuff. So we started off our YouTube channel just like that, just showing people, answering questions that we got all the time in home health. And it kind of evolved. We started getting some traction. So it kind of evolved into a product review channel. Companies started sending us their products and everything. And then, so what we've done from the word go when we do these videos is we try to keep them short because we recognize that caregivers don't have a lot of time. We try to make it A to B. So here's the product, here's who it might help, and then here's how you use it. And then here's where you can find it. And so we try to keep it nice and short. That way, if the caregiver needs to watch it again, then they can watch it again. And so we try to keep them around 5 minutes because we realize that. So then we started, after our YouTube channel, we started going out on other social media. And so it's interesting because we have different audiences on each social media. So like Facebook, that's more like our age, dealing with older parents, aging parents. And then with like TikTok, we get a lot of our viewers are either the person living with a disability themselves, or they are like the generation, like the millennial generation, that sandwich generation where they're raising young kids and they're caring for their parents and stuff, their aging parents. And then our Instagram tends to be more of the young professional caregivers. And so the audiences that we're reaching, I feel like we're getting really good responses from like a whole swath of, professional caregivers and family caregivers. And a lot of the response we get from them, it could turn into a video because somebody says, hey, my mom is doing this, or my dad's doing that, or have you seen this product? And we'll reach out to the company and have them send us the product, and it becomes a video. So we haven't got to the TV show part yet. We're getting ready to go down in September.
Right.
So we'll let you know. Have us back on later on.
Yes.
And I meant through the process of actually, ideating and going from that to that. So, I mean, I'm super excited because I know it's going to be something different. And so let me see exactly where they can find you. So we'll be, let me see really quick. Let me see. Where are you? There we go. I got it. There you go. So this is a webinar that is coming up, correct? So there's going to be an info session and where people can find out a little bit more, right?
Yes.
How it's going. Okay, so tell us a little bit about that.
I can go ahead. I can go ahead and tell you a little bit about the webinar. So the webinar is basically for any company that is offering a product for caregivers. Christina and Cindy are going to be the hosts for the show. So all the products are going to be vetted by healthcare professionals. We really believe that that's important for everybody to know and understand, so there's going to be a product review, and there's also going to be a question session with an actual caregiver. So any caregivers that have a question about a particular product, that's going to be on there as well. There's going to be a life hack. So people can actually say, okay, well, if you don't have this product or can't have this product, then what could you do to help you with this particular issue? So Christina and Cindy are really great at that. If you look at their YouTube channel, they have some really fantastic life hacks because they are therapists. They have some phenomenal information. I just believe in the caregiving space, information is life. I mean, truly. For the caregiver and for the patient, it is all about education. And if you can find the right information, it can make your life and the person who you are taking care of, your loved one, so much better and so much easier. Because you are going to get overwhelmed. I mean, you are going to be in a place of like, oh my goodness, I'm going to freak out. I mean, and you are, and that's going to come a lot. And so you have to get to, if you can find a place where you can actually get some help and feel like, oh, wow, okay, I can find this and this and this. And I mean, I can't tell you how many products I've found out just in the last 6 months that I wish I had known about before my dad died, because they would have helped me so much. And I've been able to tell a lot of them to my caregivers, and they're like, oh my goodness, I never knew there was a product out there like that. And I'm like, I know. And I know Christina and Cindy get that
all the time.
Yeah, we certainly do that. And being in home health for 30 years, and that's my heart, because you get to be in someone's space and you get to really know them. But the interesting thing to me, and I'm so excited about the Safe and Sound program, is it's going to be education, and it's going to be about the products, and it's going to be about the hacks, and really engaging with people. But I just wanted to give an example of part of what we do is, There was a time that I went in, and there's many stories like this, but I went into a client's house, and he and him and his wife were standing there when I came in, and their eyes were about as big as saucers. And he had just had a hip replacement. And I just could feel that, I was like, what's going on? What's going on? And he had anxiety, and he was upset because he came home and he got stuck in his comfy chair because it was too low. And his wife could not hardly get him out. And once they got him out, because he had to go to the bathroom, they got him into the bathroom, and the toilet was too low, and he got stuck on the toilet for a while. And they were so beside themselves. And we promote all the time trying to be proactive, and that's part of what we want to do to educate people. But the simple thing that I went in to do that day is I said, go to the garage. If you've got a couple of blocks of wood, if you've got a couple of books, get those for me. He had a rocker recliner. When you scoot forward in a rocker recliner, it drops the front of it another 2 to 3 inches. So what we did was just block the ability of the frame to rock. It gave him another couple inches, and he stood right there and was able to actually get himself out of the rocker. And we talked about, what do you need right away for the toilet? So you have a product, and I've got, just for example here, you've got furniture risers that you could do for that product.
Wow.
But then you turn around as a hack, and if you need something quickly, you put a couple of blocks under the frame of that chair, and then you've got a couple of extra inches that could make the difference of having a terrible night versus a better night,
Wow. I mean, this is just, like I said, this is information that I wish I would have had as well when I was physically out there helping elderly, in their homes. So, and I know, Romita, this is something that also the education, right? That you would have had the information.
Oh my gosh. Like if I would have known some of this stuff with my mom as well, I think you get in like emotionally. And I first and foremost, I love what you ladies are doing. I have so much love and respect for you and what you're doing. I just like, you're superheroes in my mind. And thank you. Thank you for the work that you're doing and the people that you're helping, because you're literally changing lives. And that's such a beautiful thing. I know when I was in that situation, I was so overwhelmed. And in my mind, like the things I was thinking about, I was like, okay, I literally told my boss, I put in my 2-week notice. I was like, my mom's dying. I got to go be with her for whatever time that is. So I have that in my back of my mind. And I'm like, okay, how do I do this in the back of my mind? And then you have all of this family that's coming to you, and they've now become doctors, and they all have degrees. And I don't know where they got these certifications from. Google. But all of a sudden my aunt knows like what to do and what medications she needs to take. So I have that coming at me. And it's almost like I didn't even have the capacity to even think about resources and tools like what you just, like something so simple as a 2x4. Like I didn't even have the bandwidth to even think, how do I even like to do this for my mom? And we would get equipment and things like that. But now, like, I wish I would have had this stuff. I mean, it would have been nice just to have a resource or even a YouTube, like I would have known about it, that I would literally have been watching every single day. And I'm like, okay, this is how I'm going to, this is what we're doing today. And this is how we're going to take her out of the shower.
Right, exactly.
Yes.
Little things like that. And Tracy, you mentioned the nursing home, and a thought came to me when we ended up taking my mom to the nursing home. One of the things and it was such a small thing, they actually put her in silk or satin pajamas. And I was and it made my mom just like, it was literally, she was there maybe 3 or 4 days before actual passing. And she was just, I mean, I can't even tell you what that did for her. And it was just something so simple. And they just wanted her to feel like she was at home and pretty and comfortable. And, it was just a pair of simple satin, like a gown. Absolutely. That they could still work with, but it just made her feel so good. And I didn't know that the nursing home did that, but it was just, I still remember that. And we actually on her anniversary, we make a big donation of food and whatever things that they need to the nursing home because of that. And we've continued doing that to honor her legacy as well. But I remember that when you talked about the nursing home, I thought about that story.
Oh, that's really, really cool. That's
Thank you
really,
for
really
sharing
cool.
that,
I know we
Romita.
have, thank you for sharing that. You know, everybody has these caregiving stories. And if you don't, you will, because
Yes.
caregiving will eventually touch every person. You know, Rosalind Carter, you know, said it best, you know,
Yes.
you either are a caregiver, you've been a caregiver, you need a caregiver, or I forgot what the other one is, but you know, it's true. It's true. It will eventually touch you one way or another. I know there's been a couple of questions in the chat. Christina and Cindy, I know one was from Janice. She wanted
Yes.
to know if you, what was one of
What?
a really good product you wanted to that you wanted to show to review. And then another person asked, have you reviewed any products for falls to help prevent falls? So well, I'll let you guys take the stand on that.
Sure. I'll tell you what, we've got a couple close by, some of the products that we've done that we feel can kind of be game changers. And they, of course, they all have, a lot of them have backstories because they are entrepreneurs. They were caregivers usually at one point in time. They developed a product that helped them in their journey. And then when their journey as a caregiver ended, then they became an entrepreneur. And so those are the people usually that reach out to us. So this one in particular, this is called the Meal Lifter. This was developed by a couple. The husband's mom was in an assisted living facility. She had Parkinson's and she stopped eating because she was embarrassed. The food was falling off of her utensils because of the tremors. What they did is they developed this lifter. You set the plate on top and it sits on the table and it shortens the distance between the food and the mouth. And so she was able to get more food in her mouth. It helped with her nutrition. But most importantly, it helped with her functional independence. It let her feed herself as an adult, and it gave her dignity back. And this is just amazing. I love this. It's so simple, but it's so life changing. It's called the Meal Lifter.
Meal Lifter. And I am so glad that you're pretty much shedding light on that, because I do see that as well, that more than anything, the elderly really just don't like to be a burden. I've heard this so often when I go and visit them. They're like, oh, I just don't want to bother anyone. You know, I make a mess. I feel so bad that they have to. And so this definitely gives them back that, you know, that dignity and that independence, because at the end of the day, we strive, at least when I was working for the home health entity, we wanted their independence. We wanted them to be able to feel that they can still do things by themselves, right? And so I think that's just fantastic. Thank you for sharing that. Another one, perhaps?
I have the one. Do you guys have one for the chronic fallers? Or I can take that one.
You can go. I was going to say a couple of comments about fallers, but go ahead if you have.
I'll just say about a product, and then you can tell the comments about the product. I was going to say there's a company called Caregiving Smart Solutions. Caregiver Smart Solutions is actually a camera system, which is awesome. The cameras are literally the size of a quarter, and you can get the whole system, and it comes with like 5 different cameras. And so you can literally install them in like 5 different rooms, you know, living room, dining room, kitchen, bedroom, all these different places. You can see then your person on your phone, and you can see them from anywhere. And then it's a beautiful thing, because like someone like me, you know, my mom and I are the only ones that live here. So when I'm not home, or if I have to go out of town for business or whatever it is that I do, you know, if she falls, I mean, I can actually keep track of it. And so I can actually watch her, and they're very small. They're out of sight. So she doesn't feel like, you know, she's got these really big cameras watching her and all that. So it's just kind of small and out of sight, but it can give you peace of mind, you know, so that you can just at any time, you can look at it on your phone and say, okay, mom's still doing okay. I see her in the kitchen or in the bedroom or whatever it is. Okay,
you know, too, Tracy, that's the same company, the Caregiver Smart Solutions. They also offer for those, because it's such a precarious situation between an adult child and a parent, they offer a package that has motion sensors. There are no cameras involved in that one, where it's got motion sensors. There's a humidity sensor, and then there's a door or drawer sensor that will monitor when a door is open and closed. Because some people, they don't want that invasiveness of a camera. So they give those caregivers options. Not only the caregiver, they give the family options to be able to make that decision. So it's from the same company.
Yep.
Amazing.
One other thing I was just going to say, and I just want to raise this awareness, because this is one of the other things that we do all the time, is raising people's awareness of. So when we're talking about falls, and this is always, always, always top of everybody's mind, is you want to think about fall prevention versus fall detection. There are so many things out there for fall detection, but there are a vast number of things for fall prevention as caregivers and as individuals as we age that we can do to try to prevent those falls. And interesting enough, there's so much education on just raising your awareness of, what am I doing in my home? What are my pathways like? Am I trying to stand on one leg while I'm standing up putting my pants on? There's so much as we age, and so many things that we need to do to try to be aware. And when we get that, I call it the cringies. When we get that cringy feeling of, oh my gosh, I just tripped over that rug. Oh, thank goodness I didn't fall, but I don't pick up the rug. Or, oh, I've just carried 15 bags in from the store because I don't want to make more than one trip, but I just about fell down because I had too much weight in my hands. But we get that cringy feeling, but then we don't do anything about it. We don't change our habit. And part of what we really preach is we need to pay attention to those cringy feelings and then do something about it. And part of what we do is, as far as showing people products, is as we age, we can stay independent, but we may need a little something different. We may need a reacher to pick sticks up out of the yard because it's dangerous for us to continue to bend over. So those are part of where the products come in to help continue that functional independence as we age.
Oh my God. Well, let me tell you that I guess you don't have to be an elderly person to need some of these products sometimes, because I know I'm clumsy. So I will trip over rugs. Okay. I think you were describing me as carrying all those 15 bags.
Yes,
So I don't want to make a second trip. So it necessarily, this information can be disseminated to all sorts of ages, ranges, and all, and in walks of life, because it doesn't necessarily have to be that you're an elderly. You could have been injured in some sort of accident. You could have some sort of, you're in rehab, you're in therapy. And these products that you all highlight and bring to the TV show could be life-changing for individuals to regain their independence, or to feel once again that they are able to reclaim their independence, because that is a huge thing. Having not to rely on someone else all the time, it helps both parties, the person and the caregiver themselves. It's a win-win situation.
And if I just want to jump in and come here, because I think it's that awareness that you guys were talking about, and that dignity, because for my personal example was like seeing my father as his health deteriorated. Deteriorated.
Yeah, you get it.
Deteriorated. Okay, so what gets me is, though, I think we forget this. I mean, I think we just have to, as caregivers, give yourself grace that you don't know what you don't know. And because when I saw my father just wither away into a skeleton, the patient has dignity of, they don't want you, like as Janice had mentioned, no one wants a bib, right? No one wants to be hand fed. No one wants to be told and spoken to like a child of like, ooh, don't forget to swallow. But the reality of it is as our body declines, there are things that will happen. And so it's got to be hard mentally. Can I just ask you guys a quick question? Because caregiving, there's a physical component, and that's very awkward. But the mental side of it, and I'm selfish on this, because seeing my father, like, and my boyfriend's father, when he was declining with Alzheimer's and Parkinson's, it's hard to see something strong, someone become something weaker, and then you have to accept it in your brain of, the roles really have shifted. How do you guys suggest that mentally? And with Safe and Sound, I know it's a lot of tools, but do you guys address that mental side of it as well?
Yeah, it's and that's a great question, Sia, because I mean, I think when you're a caregiver, that's tough. That's a hard situation, or at least you have to come to terms with that on some level. Imagine not recognizing yourself as a caregiver and starting to come to terms with it as well. But the statistics show the chances of you getting sick because you are giving care, and possibly, passing away before the person you're caring for, increase exponentially, and so we always just let people know you need this, there's so much help for you. If you're not ready yet, find some resources, find somebody that's going to come in, and save and help save your energy. And then maybe that buys you a little bit more time to kind of become a caregiver, or wrap your brain around becoming a caregiver.
Mhm.
That's a really great question. It's such a tough situation. We see it all the time, especially when there are siblings in families.
Mm.
Usually there's one sibling that kind of rises to the top that is the caregiver, and for
Yep.
whatever reason, it's usually the female.
Mhm.
But it's it's a tough situation, and so I mean that even compounds it a little bit more. I mean, as far as resentment and stuff, it's a tough situation for caregivers. It's horribly
Yeah,
hard.
and I'm sorry. No, one thing that I wanted to kind of tie it in with what you're saying is, it can afflict anyone. It can really hit anyone. You could be highly educated. You don't have to. For example, when my uncle unfortunately had a tremendous stroke. I mean, I'm talking about he was 47 at the time that it happened, and he had a stroke that it's only seen like in 70-year-olds. So the fact that he was young he was able to bounce back somewhat. Otherwise, he wouldn't be here if he was older. But the responsibility fell on me, and I'm over here saying, "Oh gosh, like I have to make decisions for this man. No kids, no wife, and I'm just like, oh
Mhm.
gosh, I have to make decisions." So even I'm a highly educated woman, but even me, I didn't know where to begin. I was just like, "Oh my god, how do I start? Where do I start? Okay, do I Google?" But even if I was able to Google, some of the information was just not getting translated to me. It was getting lost because I was so overwhelmed
Yeah.
with the
Yeah.
responsibilities. I cannot imagine how caregivers feel on a daily basis,
Yeah.
not knowing where to begin. So I'm just so happy that you all are able to concise this information into one place where they can actually start. It's siphoning through different intricacies of being a caregiver for anyone in their lives. So my
Absolutely.
goodness, oh my gosh, this is just amazing. I know we've pretty much run out of time, but let them know how they can find you, and tell them a little bit more about the webinar, Tracy. I know you wanted to say something. I'm sorry.
Oh, no, that's okay. I'll just say something real quick, then I'll tell about the webinar, and then I know Sia wanted to run a video, and we'll be out. Just really quick. The one thing that I have learned, I guess, as far as working with hospice for so many years, being a caregiver myself, even owning my business with dealing with caregivers on a daily basis for the past 3 years, preparation is the key, honestly. People don't want to prepare for aging, but the reality is it's a line we're never going to get out of if we live. So the reality is that if you will prepare and just kind of have some ideas about what's going to happen to your person, talk to them about what they want to do, talk to them, make a plan, so that at least when some of these things all of a sudden start happening, you don't end up going into complete freak out mode. Because, I can say that honestly, I knew about a ton of resources, but when everything happened with my mom and my dad, I didn't utilize half the resources I knew about simply because it was just too overwhelming.
Yeah.
So just please try and prepare. But
Mhm.
the webinar we are having on August 10th and August 17th at 4:30 Eastern Standard Time. It is going to be about the show Safe and Sound. We are looking for any companies that have a product that they are wanting to get out to caregivers. We also are going to be having a Safe and Sound website that is going to go with the TV show. And it's basically going to kind of be, for all intents and purposes, kind of like an Angie's List, where people are going to be able to go in there and say, I'm looking for bathroom products, or I'm looking for living room products, or whatever they need, so that they can find products all in one place that can help them. So if you or anybody you know would like to find out more, you can come to our webinar. We're going to have a question and answer at the end. So please feel free to come and answer, or you can feel free to reach out to me directly. I will be more than happy to meet with anybody that would like to have any questions or would love to be on the show. We really, really appreciate Raquel having us on today.
Yay.
This opportunity. Thank you so much.
Oh my goodness. No, thank you so much, because what you're doing, like I said, is so commendable, and you are heroes in our eyes. And also, if you cannot attend yourself, or if you know someone who would be interested, just let them know. We can always shoot the information to them. And because I'm so on board with this, like I am 222% behind it, because it's so important. Again, going back to what I just said, the amount and the numbers of baby boomers who are turning 65 and going into nursing homes or facilities that they need, assisted living facilities, is just staggering. I'm just like, we need to be informed, education above all, and knowing where to get resources. So Cindy and Christina, please tell us a little bit more, and then how the individuals can find you, so to look at your fantastic reviews of products. I love them.
Well, you could go out to our YouTube channel. That's where the majority of our more detailed videos live, on our YouTube channel, Adaptive Equipment Corner. And we're all over social media. So we're on Facebook, TikTok, LinkedIn, Twitter, which is now known as X.
All these changes, right?
I know, right?
And you can find us at aecorner.com, and all of our social media is on there as well.
Yep.
Mm-hmm.
Well, and just to give the audience a little taste of exactly what you do, we do have it's something to run, So, Miss Sia, take it away.
Hi, my name is Cindy, and I'm a physical therapist.
And I'm Christina, a speech therapist.
I love that. If you can't do it, adapt it. Oh my God. I mean, I'm telling you, that is just a taste of it. I want the whole bite. Like, I want the whole pie. So let me have the whole pie. So y'all, make sure you scan the code, and just, show up and get the information if you know someone, because I know you know someone who knows someone who knows someone. We all do. Either you're wearing the hat, or somebody else who has been wearing that hat and just needs a little encouragement and help. So I encourage you, everyone, to follow, connect with everyone who's been on. And so before we close, I definitely want to, to some closing thoughts, closing remarks on and everything that we've talked about today. It's been so empowering and uplifting. Thank you so much, ladies. So Romita, I'll start with you. Oh, you're on mute, love.
Sorry about that. I'm all talking to myself here. Thank you so much for this conversation today. I really had a lot of fun too. And it was I think for me, as the highlight was learning about Safe and Sound and what you guys are doing for the caregivers. I just have so much love for that, as I said earlier. But I just, I appreciate you sharing your stage to share all this valuable information. I think when we speak from a place of I think a lot of folks need to hear more of that, so that, they know that they're not alone in those feelings. And I know for me, there were so many things that I think the biggest lesson I learned was, being able to delegate and say no, and know that I don't need to do everything and be everything for everybody. And that came to effect in the caregiving space and in my own personal growth and spiritual growth in my journey. So thank you for allowing us to share this space. And I wish everyone lots of love, glitter, and happiness.
I love that. And the Glitter Explorer, you know how to reach out to her. And if you don't, just connect with her on LinkedIn. She'll glitterify your world. And just amazing what she does. Thank you so much, Romita. Tracy.
Sure. Thank you so much, Raquel, for having us on. Thank you, Romita, for both of you sharing the show with us. I know it was kind of a last minute thing, so I really do appreciate it so very, very, very much. Me and Christina and Cindy, all of us that are in the caregiving space, we kind of wear our hearts on our sleeves. It's a passionate endeavor that we all just love helping people, and we're just trying to help as many people as we possibly can. So if anybody knows of companies that would like to be on the webinar, please invite them. We really do want to help as many people as we can in the caregiving space, no matter where they are around the world. The show is seen globally, so no matter where you are tuning in from, because I saw Pakistan and Saudi Arabia and all of those in the comments, the show will be able to be seen from there as well. So we look forward to helping as many people as possible. So thank you again for having us.
Oh, you guys are amazing. Thank you so much. Thank you. All right, Cindy and Christina.
Well, we really appreciate you having us on here. There's so much passion that happens with caregivers and with people who are trying to work for caregivers, and that's kind of what we're all about. And we just really appreciate being a part of that.
Oh, thank you so much. Well, let me tell you, I am inspired because one of the creeds that I live by is educate, empower, and uplift. And I think you ladies are phenomenal at doing this. And, I know that there's so much strength in being in having a community in unity and different industries coming together for the betterment of our individuals in our community. So it's just one thing I really wanted to say is I know my daughter was in the audience, so I definitely saw you, baby. Thank you so much for supporting. She's not with me. They're not with me today this weekend. They're with their dad, but it was just so sweet that, they do support, they do see. And I know some of the caregivers, sometimes they don't feel seen or validated. And this is a way to let you all know we see you, we hear you, and we are here to help support you. So thank you so much, ladies, for giving me the opportunity to learn more alongside of you, to give me the opportunity to work with you, collaborate in creating a bigger force in order to impact globally, because this is worldwide. This is something that we all will go through. And you know what? The better way that we can approach this is uniting, being together and educating one another, empowering one another, and uplifting every single soul that goes through this. So without further ado, guys, oh my gosh, this has been such an amazing thing. Thank you, audience, for chiming in with your questions. And I'm so sorry we couldn't get to all of them, but we may need to have a series, a part 2. So all in the comment, let us know. Miss Sia, thank you so much for always being such an amazing angel in my life and producing shows in an extraordinary way. I appreciate you. The audience, thank you again. Connect with everyone on the panel. Connect with Safe and Sound. Attend the webinar if you can. Connect with Romita and transform your lives, guys, because, it's better now than never. I do say that was one of my messages this week, and that's my parting thoughts to you today is now is the time. Whatever you've been putting in the back burner, whatever you say, I don't think I can do that. I'm too old for that. It's never too late. It sounds cliche, but it's never too late. We can always get it done. I'm hitting my 40s soon, and I'm not ashamed to say that because I know I don't feel that age. I feel like I'm 15. Sometimes I act like I'm a 15-year old. So all I'm saying is you keep your spirits, right? Keep your spirits alive, and as long as you still have breath in your body, you can conquer so much in this world. So go out there, educate yourself, inform yourself, empower others, and uplift others. I love you guys, and I'll see you next week. Thank you so much, ladies, and arrivederci. Ciao. Bye. Thanks for joining us, and I hope our chat inspired you to make a new connection. Please like and subscribe, and let's build a great community in our little corner where we get serious business done by injecting fun. Thanks for tuning in, and until next time, come back to Raquel's Connection Corner.